like to give all glory and praise and honor unto the Most High, and I want to get into this movie Judas and the Black Messiah. You know, because I watched this maybe a few weeks ago, and after I finished, I had to come back. Because the Most High was putting it on my spirit. What was they really trying to show us in this movie? And because it's always undertones to these movies, and especially this one, like a biblical undertone. And I was thinking about it, like what would they really try to show us? Especially with the title, Judas and the Black Messiah. And especially with the character that plays William O'Neill. I mean, what was they trying to show us? And a lot of the camps would like to push that Esau's Esau's the white man too. They push that a lot. But Esau is black Edomites out there too. They don't talk about that a lot. And in the Bible, all of the disciples were from Galilee, except for Judas. And a lot of the scholars say that Judas was more than likely a Edomite. And they say that because Judas Iscariot, his last name is Iscariot. They say that really wasn't his last name. That was the name where he was from, a town called Kerioth, and that was more than likely like an Edomite territory. Let's look at it real quick. You know what I mean? So right here, Kerioth is the name of two cities mentioned in the Bible, Hebrew Bible. Right here, a town in the south of Judea, mentioned in Joshua 15:25. Judas Iscariot was probably a native, hence his name is Iscariot. It's been identified with the ruins of El Kuritan, about 10 miles south of Hebron. So this is what they say. They say that he was probably a native there, and it was more than likely Edomite territory, So because, like I said before, all of the disciples were from Galilee, except for Judas. Right here, like I said, all of the apostles except for Judas were from Galilee. His name Judas Iscariot indicates that he was from Kerioth. Iscariot is not a word in any known language. It is believed to be a corruption of the Hebrew word Ishkarioth, man of Kerioth. Kerioth was a small village on the southwestern extremity of the territory of Judea, 15 miles south of Hebron. This territory is occupied by Edomites. The Edomites descended from the line of Esau, who took wives from the line of Ishmael. And he also took he had Canaanite wives too. Let's not forget about that. But yeah, man. So when I'm watching this movie, I started thinking about it. I'm like, look, man. This Judas was more than likely a man of color. But he was an Edomite, because there are black Edomites too. Like I said, if Jacob and Esau, they're from the same stock. They were twins. And after Esau, there was a lot of mixing going on. So yeah, there's white Edomites too. Or I should say, like, with that hue of paler skin. But there are also black Edomites, man, and this is probably what they were showing you in this movie, man. Right here, this is a powerful scene. The wicked join hand in hand. This could be possibly two Edomites. The wicked join hand in hand, man. Oh man. And you know what this reminded me of too. When you read the book of Jasher, it talks about how Chittim or Kittim, whichever one, they conquered Esau. They conquered the Edomites. They made a war broke out between Rome, which is Kittim, and the Edomites, and the Edomites were conquered, by them in the book of Jasher. And this is what it looks like right here. You see how, this guy, he's pretty much conquered. He's defeated, because this guy has leverage on him, and he has to submit to him, Let's take a look at that real quick, man. Look at that. So a war broke out between Chittim, which I said is, they say is Rome, and the Edomites. And, in Jasher, this is Jasher chapter 90, verse 7, 8, and 9. It says right here, and the turn of Chittim continued their pursuit of Edom, and they smote them with a great slaughter. And Edom became subject to the turn of Chittim. And the turn of Chittim ruled over Edom. And Edom became under the hand of the turn of Chittim, and became one kingdom that day. And from that time, they could no more lift up their heads, and their kingdom became one with the children of Chittim, man. So they were, he said, I'm going to read verse 10. And Abanias placed officers in Edom, and all the turn of Edom became subject and tributary to Abanias. And Abanias turned back to his own land in Chittim. So you see right there, they were paying tribute, to the Romans. So these guys, it says they could no more lift up their heads, meaning like, from that time forward, they were always under the rule of Rome. They were subjugated. So these guys was always under the leadership of them, man. And that's what you see right here. That's what you see right here, man. They join hand in hand. And what did this guy do in the movie? If you haven't seen the movie, I'm sorry, might spoil it for you. He was going back to this cop, this Edomite cop, more than likely, and giving them information, just like how Judas was going back and giving them information about the Messiah. He's subjugated, man. He enjoyed this work. You've seen the interviews that he did. So like I said, I just felt like, it was an undertone to this movie, like a biblical undertone. Like Judas was more than likely an Edomite, man. He was more than likely an Edomite, like they say. That's what they showing you in this movie, man. They were joined hand in hand. Just like today, you think you got a lot of these, a lot of these guys that's really on your side, but they really join hand in hand, deceiving our people, man. They already took these deals, and it's not no type of relationship like this where he's forcing them to do it. They're willingly selling us out. Why? Because they always were underneath, that rule of the Romans, man. After they got conquered, they intermingled with them. They were under their government, and the Edomites have a hatred for the turn of Jacob, man. So their goal was to destroy the turn of Jacob, man. And this is what he did, man. And that goes into I'm gonna transition into Zepho. Zepho was according to in the book of Jasher, he was an Edomite. He was the grandson of Esau, and he was in captivity under the sons of Jacob. The sons of Jacob had him in captivity, but after I believe after Jacob died, he escaped. Let's take a look at that. All right, so right here, it says, Joseph enslaved Zepho, the son of Eliphaz, the son of Esau. You mean? And brought him to Egypt. After Joseph's death, Zepho escaped. Like I was saying, he escaped Egypt and went to Africa, to Agnias, the king of Carthage. You know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? And when you read the book of Joshua, it's telling you in Joshua that, when this Zepho escaped, the sons of Jacob, after he escaped under their hand, he was telling this Agnes, like, look, man, attack the sons of Jacob, man. Attack the sons of Jacob, man. We got to kill him. Why? Because he had that perpetual hatred, for the sons of Jacob, man. But the king of Africa didn't want to do it. Like, his advisors would tell him, hey, you know that the Most High is with these people, man. It's not wise to attack them. So let's keep reading. From Africa, he went to the land of Chittim, Rome. Chittim is modern day Cyprus, I believe. Due to his bravery, he was given dominion over the land of Chittim and throughout Italy. His sons reigned after him, and that is why the Romans are Edomites. Zepho's grandson, Latinus, is the one who gave the Romans their language and their alphabet. Thus, since Zepho went to Italy, carried that enmity against Jacob, there's no question that he bequeathed his enmity to his descendants, the Romans. I mean, so you see, he passed that hatred on, to his descendants, the Romans. Let's keep reading about this Zepho, because it's interesting, man. Right here, once again. But Kittim ended up appointing Zepho, the son of Eliphaz and grandson of Esau, as their king, with the title Janus Saturnus, the first king of Rome. You know what I mean? Once again, this is Esau's grandson, man. And so basically, like, this guy was just like hot money, man. He went over there, you know what I mean? Like, he was like a what you call it? I mean, the way they honored him, you would think this guy was like, Achilles or something, man. That warrior Achilles. The way they show such reverence to him, and you see that in the scriptures. Let's take a look at that. So this is I think Joshua chapter 61, verse 13. And all the people of Chittim received him with great honor, and they hired him to fight their battles all the days. And Zepho became exceedingly rich in those days, and the troops of the king of Africa still spread themselves in those days. And the children of Chittim assembled and went to war to Mount Cuspitza on the account of Agnias, king of Africa, who advanced upon him. So basically, what I was showing you, like, you see, they received him with great honor, and they put him in charge when he went over there. Remember, like I was saying, look, he escaped the sons of Jacob, and according to this book, he went over there, and they received him with great honor. Like I said, like, I guess he was a man that was like, a real bold guy, you know what I mean? Great warrior. Verse 17, and they all assembled to consecrate one day in the year to him, and they called the name, therefore, Zepho, after his name. And they brought unto him drinks offering year after year on that day, and they brought unto him gifts. Yeah. I mean, they honored him, they reverenced him over there, man. Verse 24. And the children of Chittim saw the valor of Zepho, and the children of Chittim resolved and made Zepho king over them, and he became king over them. And whilst he reigned, they went to subdue the children of Tubal and all those surrounding islands. So when you see, let's go back to this real quick. So like I was showing you, they reverence him, man. They had great reverence for him, and you see, I came back to this slide. It says, they gave him the title Janus Saturnus. So this Janus Saturnus, when you look at the month of January, let's take a look at that. That's actually honoring, Zepho. So January was named after Janus, the Roman god of beginnings and endings. I mean, Zepho, Janus, Saturnus. You know what I mean? They gave him that title, Janus Saturnus, man. Why? Because he was the first Roman king. I mean, January is the first month. So, when you think of January, it's actually talking about him. I mean, Janus, January, and just like how you got the month of August, that's actually talking about honoring the Roman Emperor Augustus. You know? Yeah, man. So Zepho, man. I mean, he was an Edomite, man. Alright. Joshua chapter 61, verse 25. And their king Zepho went at their head, and they made war with Tubal and the islands, and they subdued them. And when they returned from battle, they renewed his government for him, and they built for him a very large palace for his royal habitation and seat, and they made a large throne for him. And Zepho reigned over the whole land of Chittim and over the land of Italia. 50 years. Italia, Italy, Rome. I mean, so this was according to what they say, the grandson of Esau. He was an Edomite. I mean, he left captivity from the sons of Jacob, and he became king. I mean, he went to Chittim, and he became king over there because they liked him for his bravery. They honored him. They reverenced him. And like you see, it says it. He passed that hatred on to his sons, man. So here's another reference on the land of Chittim. Maccabees 1:1 states that Alexander the Great, the Macedonian, had come from the land of Chittim. All these guys are the same. Grecians, Macedonians, Romans. It's all the same to me. Macedonians are kind of like lesser. They were considered lesser. But that's where Alexander the Great come from, man. So he was a Roman, man. But like in the history books, they always present we always see like one image. A lot of things are like whitewashed. So you only see, when you think of Romans, you only think of like, hey, a certain specific type of people, but this guy, like I said, so you see, this guy, was the brother of Jacob, man. Esau was a brother of Jacob, I mean to say, and then, he had sons. He had Eliphaz, and Eliphaz had Zepho, and then that Zepho had Latinus, So, when you watch these movies, you wonder why we can't get it together at some point. They're of the same nation, man. Working together. What did Judas do? Judas went back to his own people. He went back to the priests in the high courts. The Sanhedrins, all of them. Those were his. Like I said, he was probably an Edomite. He went back to the Edomites, man. To give them that money. So sometimes you see us, these guys will say like, oh yeah, man, we do this and we do that. You got niggas that's of your same hue that's out to destroy you. Just like how Zepho had that hatred in him to destroy the sons of Jacob. It's niggas with the same hue. And you see it out here. They're joined hand in hand. And this, like I said, it's an ongoing tactic, man, that they use. They use people of our own hue to infiltrate our organizations, to put that dagger in us, And it says Judas and the Black Messiah. What was they showing you in that movie? What was the undertone? I had to think about it. They join hand in hand. Are they of the same nation? They may look a little different, but they of the same nation, man. This is what I took from it, man. And, You know, you got some people that say Esau is you know, the Arab. You know, I believe that too, man. I mean, like his seed is mixed, man. You know, it's mixed within the Arabs too. You know, his seed is mixed within the Arabs. You know, Saudi Arabia, East Saudi Arabia. I believe Esau's over there too. You know, but like I said, if we say that, you know, Jacob and Esau, you know, were twins. You know, they're gonna, they're gonna look somewhat the same, man. You know. You know, with that being said, I'd like to give all glory and praise and honor unto the Most High, man, and that's it, man. You know what I mean? Yeah.